Hello and welcome to Out Past the Range, Volume 127! Today we're talking about the Infant Island self-titled cassette that was released on July 24th of 2018. It was released on cassette August 1st, so like a week afterwards. Anyway, already getting ahead of myself. Not time for dinner yet, kitties! Anyway, so let's bring it back to the start. They didn't like me telling them that it's not time for dinner. So, Alex. Begins with Alex. Alex hit me up in 2017 asking for me to help with the Small Hands taper split 10-inch. I was unable to help at that time. And then I got another message in 2018 asking about this album. And straight up, I listened to it twice and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. But with the financial issues that I was having at the time, aka the first 5-6 years of ZBR's existence, there was dips where it was just not feasible to release something, so I had to pass on it, even though I enjoyed it. So what ended up happening was I kept jamming it, and jamming it, and jamming it, and eventually I became obsessed with it. And I messaged Alex back, and I was like, I do not have the money to help with a 12-inch. How would you feel if I just did some tapes? And Alex was like, yeah, let's do the tapes. So that worked out really well. We did 100 tapes. We did 100 tapes on white with, oh, these ones have the sparkle covers too. Huh. I guess I made all of the covers for these, so they're one-sided and they are on sparkle paper, which worked out really nicely. Oh, sparkle beige and sparkle silver. So there's also 10 copies of this on gold. So super rare for those ones. For the center or the tape label, Alex just sent me the art, and as you can see on each tape, it's a little different because it's the full cassette art printed over one page. So I think there's like 12 cassette labels that have been taken out for every picture. So I think that's really cool. They sold out. The gold one sold out immediately. There were some pretty die-hard Infant Island fans out there, and then we moved the white ones. It took a while, actually. I think the band actually bought some back. This was all pre-Sepulcher, obviously, because these would have been flying at that point. But we already sold out, so so what is there to say? I should probably tell you about what they sound like. Oh, before we talk about what they sound like, the tapes. Do you have a tape? Have you listened to it? It's professionally duplicated, but it's unmastered. So it's really quiet. And I kept calling them lo-fi and stuff. I didn't realize that I didn't have the correct masters until maybe a month later. Someone was like, the Bandcamp really quiet. I think Tom Carney, who mastered it, messaged me and was saying, pretty sure this is the unmastered version. That's why it's so quiet. Here's the mastered version. I was like, oh, that's fantastic. So I put it up on the Bandcamp. So also, if you downloaded from ZBR's Bandcamp way back in the day, you might have the unmastered tracks on your computer or phone or what have you. So maybe check that out. They're definitely screamo. They're more. This album is more screamo in the vocals. The instrumentals have a much more shoegaze meets black metal kind of post-rock deal. Angel Eyes, My Hair is a Rat's Nest, To Be Gentle, Visam Alske Varandra Samikit, Respire all come to mind pretty immediately. What was Edie's comparison? Respire meets The Spirit of Versailles. So, Middleman Conditions and Dingleberry Records were the ones that released the 12-inch. I'm pretty sure those are all gone. One would have to assume. Oh, speaking of the 12 inches, why don't I show them to you? For I do have the regular edition, which I believe is just, on the black swirl with the clear. And I was lucky enough, because I know the band, to get a copy of the alternate cover black version out of, what, 25? I got 21 out of 25 here. So that's pretty cool. I do love me some Infant Island. I probably have one of the most extensive variant collections outside of the band, I would say, for I have pretty much everything, including tests and stuff like that. So ego aside, what else should we talk about here? Let's talk about the songs. One of the songs in particular that absolutely hooked me and made me come back and do the cassette release was Preoccupation, which is track 6. Great, like, slow post-rock shoegaze build until the first guitar comes in, and then it like really picks up into the epicness. And then at 2:10, the second guitar comes in over top, and oh my god, it's just amazing. Asked my wife, who would be in the vehicle with me when it was on a mix CD, and I was ripping apart that steering wheel, strumming like a guitar, because you know that's literally how I roll. So, Broken Pieces and the closing track Further are also really perfectly done post-hardcore screamo thing. Whatever it is. I really feel like they hit it perfectly on those 3 songs, and those kind of lead into what the band did next, as they did a split on a 4-way, which will be on Out Past the Rings, as well as They're Beneath. They're Beneath, yes. They're Beneath 12-inch that I'm going to give you. And then they also did the Sepulchre, which came out around the same time. This is way softer than those albums. If you're expecting, like noise and almost like metallic metalcore, extreme, almost emo violence stuff, it doesn't really happen on this. This is the shoegaze, post-hardcore, post-rock screamo album. And what an album it is. I do believe that repeat listens will really open up the album. And it's an excellent experience. One of those things that I strongly recommend from start to end and not just chopped up. Right, so I should also mention that James Rakestraw was the drummer on this album. I met James kind of after the fact. James is only on, I'm sure James on the previous releases, but James is on this album and then left the band. I met him in Germany when I was on tour. So James hopped along on tour, so I know James pretty well. James is an awesome human being. Members of this band, Alex in particular, plays in Madashine. I don't know if you know Madashine. Check out Madashine. Madashine rules. Much more metalcore, with just, like, these are really awesome, shrieky, screamo vocals. Madashine is just, what if your vocal cords were completely torn apart? It's like broken screamo. It's one of those super raw. Anyway, that's another Out Past the Rings. The next Out Past the Rings is the Zampler number 11, whatever the next Zampler is. I'm pretty sure it's 11. Yeah, so until next time, I have heard there is currently a battle underway before we get to time. So, I should probably get my weaponry ready and get going into battle.